In this video, we are going to solve systems of linear equations with substitution. We're going to do problems where the two equations are equal to the same value, such as they're both equal to y or both equal to x, and where the equations are not equal to the same value, which are the ones that students tend to have a little bit more difficulty with. Warning, there are also some clips that the students have recorded to entertain you. Okay, we are going to review solving systems of linear equation with substitution. Some of these problems are both set to the same variable, some of them are not. So this is a problem that we learned on the second day of substitution where these two equations are not equal to the same thing. This first equation is equal to x, the second equation is equal to 8. But we can take out this x and put in what x is equal to. So we're going to rewrite this second equation as y minus 1 instead of x. Plus 2y equals 8. So what we've done is where this x is, we've taken that out and put in y minus 1 because x is also equal to y minus 1. Then we're going to combine like terms. So y plus 2y is 3y. Minus 1 equals 8. Add 1 to both sides. 3y equals 9. Divide both sides by 3. Y equals 3. But that is not our final answer. Remember, our answer to a system of linear equations is finding the coordinate or the ordered pair, the x and the y coordinates, where the two equations would intersect or where they have the same common answer. So I'm going to go back to x equals y minus 1. I'm going to take out y. I'm going to substitute 3. 3 minus 1 equals x, so x would have to equal 2. Now I'm going to go look at the second equation, which was x plus 2y equals 8. And I'm going to check this. Meaning I'm going to take out x, I'm going to take out y. For x, I'm going to put in 2. For y, I'm going to put in 3. And it was 2 times y, so 2 times 3. 2 plus 6 equals 8. And 2 plus 6 does equal 8, so it checks. So that is my solution.
Wait, which way does my hair go?
Our second problem is a problem where both equations are equal to the same thing. They're both equal to y. So if x plus 2 is equal to y and 2x minus 5 is equal to y, then they're equal to each other. So in this case, I'm going to subtract x from both sides. 2 equals 2x minus x is x minus 5. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. And I get x is equal to 7. Once again, my solution is not x is equal to 7. I still need to put this back into the equation to get an answer for y. So if I take out x and I substitute that with 7, 7 plus 2 is 9. That seems like that's going to work. So what I'm going to do now is going to rewrite that second equation, y equals 2x minus 5. I'm going to take out the y and substitute it with 9. I'm going to take out the x here and I'm going to substitute it with 7. 2 times 7 is 14 minus 5 That equals 9 like it was supposed to. That checks. Next problem. In this problem, the equations are not equal to the same thing. Y is equal to x plus 5, but this whole equation is equal to negative 11. That means I'm going to rewrite this second equation, 3x, but instead of y, I'm going to put in what they told me y is equal to. And y is equal to x plus 5. And that equals negative 11. So 3x plus x, if there were a number here, I would distribute that first, but there is not. So 3x plus x is 4x. 3x plus 5, I can't do that. So that's 3x plus x, there's nothing here to add, so just plus 5 equals negative 11. I can't do 3x, and we're not distributing them, I'm adding them. So I subtract 5 from both sides. 4x equals negative 11 minus 5 is negative 16. X equals negative 4. But remember, that is not my solution. My solution is going to be an ordered pair of x and y coordinates. To find the y value, I'm going to take out this x and I'm going to substitute it with negative 4. Negative 4 plus 5 is 1. So now I'm going to rewrite this second equation over here, and I'm going to erase the letter x and the letter y. For x, I'm going to put in negative 4. For y, I'm going to put in 1. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Negative 12 plus 1 equals negative 11. So this checks. I have the correct answer. You have this problem on your worksheet. I had you rewrite the problem as y equals negative x minus 3. Now, you don't have to know how to do this, but what I did was I just decided I wanted to get the y by itself. So how do I get rid of x? I subtract x from both sides. Y equals, now I could have written negative 3 minus x. That's the same thing as y equals negative x minus 3. I just like my variable first. But you do not have to be able to do that. You'll learn how to do that in Algebra 1, but I've given you a preview. So now, in this case, I have the first equation, 2x minus, instead of y, I'm going to put in negative x minus 3. This is going to equal 6. So I've taken this first equation. I leave this minus or this negative sign here because it's in the equation. All I'm doing is substituting in what y is equal to. So this one gets a little too tricky. 2x minus a negative x is the same as adding. So 2x plus x is 3x minus 3 equals 6. I add 3 to both sides. I get 3x equals 9. So x is going to equal 3. Now, if x equals 3, I'm going to take this equation. Y equals negative, I'm substituting in the value for x, 3, minus 3. So that becomes y equals negative 3 minus 3, and this is negative 6. So now in this first equation, let's make sure that works. I'm taking out the x. I'm putting in 3. taking out the y, I'm putting in negative 6. Okay? 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus negative 6 is not 6. 6 minus negative 6 is not 6. I've done something wrong. So let's see if I can go back and figure out what I've done wrong. Since 6 plus 6 equals 12, that's not 6. That doesn't work. So that's what I mean by that. So let's look at a few things. Let's look at the problem we did here. Put the 3 in. 3 minus, negative 3 minus 3 is definitely negative 6. So let's look, maybe our first number is wrong. So let's look at what we did here. I see what we did wrong already. Maybe you saw it when I did it. So let's look at this. I'm going to put in blue what I did wrong. 2x minus negative x is plus x, but minus a negative 3 should have been plus 3. So from that point on, everything we did was wrong. And it's good for you to see. I didn't make that mistake on purpose, made it by accident, but you can see what happens when you make a mistake. I knew that I made a mistake because the answers did not work. So this is not going to work. So these cancel out. So 3x equals 6 minus 3 is 3. X equals 1. So now I'm going to try that in this equation, which is y equals negative, for x, I'm substituting in 1 minus 3. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. Let's see if that works in this equation. So 2 times 1, correct? Minus negative 4 should equal 6. 2 times 1 minus the y value, so negative 4 should equal 6. 2 times 1 is 2 minus a negative 4. That subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive. So that does equal 6. My answer is correct.
Ready? Hello and welcome to Makeup and Math
Oh,
with Miss Falk. Today we are talking about Ryan's chapstick called Beeswax Lip Balm.
I think I had you guys rewrite this as x equals negative 3y minus 5. I can't see what that equation was. So that's what I would have had you write. So for the x value here, I'm going to substitute in negative 3y minus 5 minus 2y equals 7. In this case, I have a number in front of my parentheses, so I have to distribute. 3 times negative 3y is negative 9y. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Minus 2y equals 7. The variables are on the same side of the equation, so I'm going to combine them. Negative 9 minus 2 is negative 11y. Minus 15 equals 7. Now I'm going to add 15 to both sides. And I get negative 11y equals 7 plus 15. I was getting a little nervous that this was going to be a fraction, but it's not. It's 22. And that means that when I divide both sides by -11, y is going to equal -2. Made a mistake there. This should have been a comma here. We have to plug this back in to find the x value. So, draw a line here. This second equation here. X equals -3 times -2 for y minus 5. X equals -3 times -2 is +6 minus 5. So x should equal 1. I'm going to check that in this equation. 3 times 1 is 3 minus 2 times -2. So I can think of it as -2 times -2 is +4. I could have also done 2 times -2 is -4, but then I'd have minus a -4, which have also been positive. 3 plus 4 is 7, so this does check. And there you have help with how to do problems involving substitution. It's good review for a quiz or a test. It's also help you do your homework.